Ready? Are we on? Was a dark day, we were frightened, so much chaos, so many white men, caught off guard, no one knew what to say. How did it all get so crazy? Facts were absent, the air was hazy, we stood watching, tears streamed down our faces. While in the White House there was a tyrant, glued to the TV, cheering the violence. When they pleaded, he refused to say a word. He just sat there in his fury, lashed out against us. The world was worried, we didn't know if we would make it through. The day they stormed the Capitol, they couldn't take it down, and now we're rising up in numbers much too numerous to count, and we are taking back democracy, and we won't be backing down. We are taking back democracy, and we won't be backing down. Now we're standing, we're united. Our elders showed us the most worthy fight is for our freedom requires vigilance. We're courageous, growing stronger, not complacent. We serve with honor, and our power is the love that leads our way. The day they stormed the Capitol, they couldn't take us down, and now we're rising up in numbers much too numerous to count, and we are taking back democracy, and we won't be backing down. We are taking back democracy, and we won't be backing down. They couldn't take us down, and now we're rising up in numbers much too numerous to count, and we are taking back democracy, and we won't be backing down. We are taking back democracy, and we won't be backing down. Hi, everyone. Happy Flag Day. Thank you for being here. It is Friday, the, I have to look at my calendar. It's the 14th. It's Flag Day. Welcome. Oh, that's a good idea. Darren's saying it would be wonderful if I sang my song for the July 4th parade. I can get a big speaker and play it that way. I am doing the 4th of July parades. As you can see, I'm dedicated to democracy, and I'm dedicated to taking back our flag. Thank you, Lori, saying I love that song. That song was channeled through me. That song needs, we used to say in Nashville, the song needs legs. It needs legs, and you're my legs. It needs to be shared. I cannot believe how many times I've heard people say that we need to All Come Together, which is the name of another song that I wrote. We're in a really interesting time in American history, and I thank you for your compliments. And honestly, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I don't want anybody else's name on the song, but I don't care if nobody knows who wrote the song. I mean that. Thank you to those of you who joined me last night for our discussion about the cult of Trump and what approach we need to take if we're going to get anywhere with, and we will, if we're going to get anywhere with taking back democracy and not backing down. We cannot treat them in person like they're the enemy, because that's what they need from us. They need to get you all upset. So it doesn't make any sense to argue with somebody who's in the cult about the cult. It doesn't make any sense. You will not get anywhere. You'll just strengthen. They'll buckle down and they'll strengthen their position. They're being trained to deal with the opposition, which is, us, the truth tellers, the actual truth tellers. They're being trained, because they're all together in the cult, to not believe anything that we say. So just keep that in mind. You can't argue with the sick mind. That's true. Now, speaking of sick minds, we have so much to go over tonight, and I'm going to do my best to make it 1 hour. Thanks to Terry, who's producing tonight behind the scenes. Is Thomas not going to tell dad jokes? I missed what was being said. Yeah, we have a lot to go over. And as things get more and more hairy and chaotic and dark, before the light, was the darkest hours right before the dawn, we really need to buckle down even more. But first, a dad joke. Ran out of toilet paper and started using lettuce leaves. Today was just the tip of the iceberg. Tomorrow, sometime, what? Romaine. We have the drums tonight. Yeah. So we'll do a hug when we've got 200 people in the chat. I mean viewing, not in the chat. Some people like to lurk. How can I describe this? By the way, Lawrence O'Donnell has been great lately, and definitely check it. I wasn't able to watch him last night, but the night before, I think it was, when Lawrence O'Donnell was talking about the Francis Scott Key Bridge that got rebuilt in 11 weeks, when the engineers were saying, everybody was saying, that can't be done in under a year. 11 weeks. And Lawrence O'Donnell also really laid it on the line about, Republicans, businessmen, corporate owners, CEOs, they don't make more money under Republicans. They make more money under Democrats. So we're being tested. We're being tested. I do have tea leaves tonight. Thank you to the wrenches. I always forget to thank you. Oh, they cleared the Baltimore Port Channel. Thank you. I stand corrected. Anyway, it's more, that makes sense. But anyway, it's usable is my point. But I don't know how long it will take to build the actual bridge. It's a major port that serves the entire world. And so the point that he was making was that Joe Biden and his administration made that port open again in record time. And because it was in record time, we didn't have an economic crash that would have affected the whole world. I know that there's so many things that we're all thinking about that we need to read about tonight. And I told you the Supreme Court was going to set us off. So let's read another dad joke. If I keep stress eating at this level, the buttons on my shirt will start socially distancing from each other. All right. Let me talk about the Supreme Court. In my lifetime, I've never borne witness to people that are at this level of being monsters in my entire existence. Is it true for you? The Supreme Court voted to make it easier, for, speaking of sick minds, for a sick mind to acquire a gun. And I don't even know anything about guns, but there was a bump stock ban that happened unbelievably under Trump after the Las Vegas shooting, which was the hugest mass shooting ever in this country. And under the Trump administration, they put the ban in place because of that most unimaginable, horrific massacre of innocent people. I think they were at a concert. And Gloria's saying, so true, this court is so corrupt. They're monsters. They are the ones that have decided that bump stocks can come back are monsters. There's no other word. Let's make it easier for assault weapons to murder civilians. And we're going to look at this. Let's all put on our Biden merch and go to the gun shop. I've been reeling from so many things in the news all day, and I don't think I'm alone in that. I think that you all are too. We're going to take a look at what's going on there. And I wanted to bring up something else, and that's that the other night I told you on Wednesday night that the party of traitors, the pot party, were scrambling. You might remember attempting to hide how bad the loser is failing mentally. You wonder who got money from the NRA? I would say Thomas and Alito, maybe Roberts. So, thank you, Ronda. I think that I've just been reeling from, I don't understand how people can be so horrible. Remember the other night I was also saying, just be grateful. If it makes you feel any better, be grateful that you don't have that level of evil in you. Clarence Thomas has been receiving loads of money. We don't even know how much money. An exorbitant amount of money. A free flow of cash from Harlan Crow, who has an autographed copy, I don't know how much he paid for it, of Mein Kampf, signed by the author. I'm going to pull 3 cards about this Supreme Court. I mean, today I was wondering if Sotomayor would just leave. And why didn't we listen to Anita Hill? Why do we not listen to the women? Why do we not listen to Debbie, was her name Ford? about Brett Kavanaugh. So we're actually, I'm so glad that we're together. We're actually, I was going to use different phrase, but I don't want to use a phrase that has to do with guns. We're actually looking down the road and we're seeing Nazism coming at us. We're actually looking down the road and we're watching Nazism heading for the United States. And if it does make you feel any better, Rachel Maddow and her book Ultra and Prequel, it's happened before. There are more people here now. There are more people, obviously, many more people, but it happened before in the 30s and 40s. So I'm going to pull 3 cards to find out. Biden got Clarence Thomas on the court. Roberta Kelly, I understand what you're saying, but what you're saying makes it sound like he single-handedly made Clarence Thomas get on the court. And I don't believe that that's true. That was a group effort by the white men. And I bet you anything, if you asked Joe Biden about that today, he would say that it was a huge regret. And I'm not just backing Biden. I'm looking at character here. Christine is saying, can you please check if Clarence Thomas is not going to come back after summer break? You have a feeling. We see health problems for him. And by the way, I forgot to mention that I had told you that I didn't plan to come back on Friday unless I got a couple of readings booked. So thank you. You know who you are. A couple people signed up for my summer classes. And 2 or 3 people signed up for readings. And that's keeping me going. So thank you. So, Roberta, do you have anything that you want to say that, okay, so do you have anything that you want to say about Biden that's good? Because I've had it up to here with Biden bashing. And we all make mistakes. We all make choices that we realize afterwards are not the right choices. So anyway, we can take that up for a discussion at some time. But I've had it with Biden bashing. And I'm not saying you're Biden bashing. Biden made mistakes. He's been in public service for 50 years. So he's not a progressive, right? As far as the Supreme Court, let me move this table a little bit. I'm not adverse to hearing the truth, but I am adverse to hearing truth that kind of distorts our view. Yeah. Okay. I'm not bashing him. I'm just making a statement. Yes, we know that he made a wrong choice with Clarence Thomas. We know that. But when you see the level of Biden bashing that's going on right now, we can use all the help we can get. Okay. We'll do a group hug momentarily. I'm reading on the Supreme Court. The high priestesses, they have a lot of secrets. They're trying to, under the direction of Harlan Crow and the other one, Leonard Leo, Harlan Crow more. They're injecting cruelty into the citizenry. So I'm reading on a question. This is about the secrets that they're keeping. The Eight of Wands. Something's going to happen pretty. It's June, and they've got some more decisions coming. So they're going to come, and I warned you about this a little while ago. The Supreme Court is going to make some decisions that are going to be terrible. And this was one. And I feel it coming. You probably feel it coming too. Hang on a second. What's going to happen is all of the American people will see that the court, I mean, not everyone sees it just yet. People are starting to feel it. The American people are going to see clear as day. The Supreme Court is working against the American people. They're working against the American people. The Supreme Court is working against the United States Constitution. They are making it very clear. Look at what Alito did. Yeah. Pat saying SCOTUS just sent another big FU to America. I hope they get that. Get that back. That we understand that. I wrote an entire article about that. It's on Substack right now. And if you are on the grassrootsofdemocracy.com email list, you received that article. I wrote an entire article about this whole MAGA movement and all that we've borne witness to, and the Trump wanting to be a dictator and changing our, flipping our flag upside down to the tune of Alito, and changing our national anthem and hating on the president. It's a big FU to America, and Putin couldn't be happier. So what they're doing, they don't care about the Second Amendment, Maryland. What they're doing, what the Supreme Court is doing, is they're showing, it's like they're painting a picture. This is who we are. We are corrupt theocrats. And all we're interested in, the Supreme Court is showing us, all that we're interested in is showing you how evil monsters that we can be. That's why I said, get ready. There's more coming down the road. And we're not to the end of June yet. I feel Clarence Thomas having health problems. I feel Alito having health problems. And I also feel like they have the very best health care imaginable, and they will be able to address their most massive health problems. We're going to read about that next. What do you want to do a hug about? What's your intent for the hug? It's all about changing our form of government. That's what they're showing us. They're showing us that they want a dictatorship. They're showing us that they want a dictatorship. They're showing us that they want fascism. Thank you, Bon Blue. How will Trump's birthday party go tonight? I don't see him attending for very long. So, I'm okay. I mean, yeah, you can give me a hug. We hug, we all, Tina's worried. Yeah, we all are hugging each other. You think Alito's wife might have her husband step down? That sounds kind of accurate. And I don't know if you guys heard the recording of Alito's wife, but she was literally meowing. Somebody kind of undercover went and talked to her and recorded the conversation. She was meowing at the woman. Anyway, They're showing us their plan of fascism. That's what the Supreme Court is doing. Sotomayor, I'm going to ask this. I'm going to ask if she's going to stay. And we don't really hear too much from Ketanji Brown Jackson, but I get the sense that she's just absolutely mortified. Is Sotomayor going to step down and in the face of that she can't really do her job? No. Okay. Because it's kind of like the people that adhere to the Constitution on the Supreme Court, it's kind of like they're not even there, right? Biden voted against Thomas in the Supreme Court. Please fact check. Yeah, something was feeling wrong about that. That's why I was getting upset. Okay, so we're gonna hug. We're going to think about the regular people of America joining forces like we are. Ready? Group hug. The regular people of America joining forces in a huge way, just like this hug. All right. Let's keep in mind that a week or so ago, we didn't have the convicted felon label for the loser. And now we do. Thank you for coming. Donna's saying she just arrived from, you got my notification. He's a convicted felon. He's losing his mind. And as I was bearing witness to these MAGAs in our Congress, treating him, I mean, I want to say rock star, but treating him like he's a god. And if you weren't with us last night, I did a special edition of Grassroots of Democracy, and I talked about the cult mindset. And the way that they're all enamored and like under hypnosis, and he's like God, and a lot of them believe that he's God. A lot of that is the cult mind. That that the loser revisited the scene of the crime. He didn't go in the Capitol building. That's I heard. Yeah, I can't believe we're going through this either, Little Flower. He hadn't been in that area of the Capitol since he incited a violent, lethal insurrection. So, that was really upsetting. But what I know for sure is that they all are observing that he can't put two sentences together. Thank you, Marby. He can't formulate like a plan. His only platform is to replace democracy with fascism. And he's not making sense anymore. And we're going to read about this too. They're talking about the sharks and the boat batteries and Hannibal Lecter and hating Milwaukee and that Judge Michon is the devil. This insanity. But especially the part where like the businessmen recently, yesterday, that sat down with him were reporting back. And they're all in for Trump. They're all in for those tax cuts. So reportedly, thank you, Paula, what they're saying is that they really were these businessmen, the big corporate guys that make, billions of dollars, and they get big tax breaks, and then we don't get tax breaks, and they're sitting with Trump thinking he's the chosen one. He's the one that's going to help them to fill the hole in their soul by giving them the tax breaks and getting rid of all safety regulations and everything else. And they were kind of mortified because they saw what I was telling you recently, that they couldn't make sense of Trump because his cognitive function is gone. He has dementia. And all they do, and I'm a little bit like, I'm watching this. It is the whole like emperor has no clothes fable, that story. Like, do you not see how dangerous this is? You know, I'm looking at them going, the guys in, you know, the MAGAs in Congress, I'm looking at them going, really? Do you not see how off the rails he is? He's talking about Hannibal Lecter. I couldn't even watch Silence of the Lambs. I can't handle that kind of, thank you, Warren. I can't handle that kind of a movie. I also didn't watch Jaws, which was really an easy movie compared to Silence of the Lambs. Cheryl's asking, will Trump pick J.D. Vance? I actually am picking up psychically conversations about if Trump literally falls down because he can't even use his brain anymore. I think I'm going to ask, because I was kind of picking up on that today. Would they put J.D. Vance? All right, first of all, are they talking about who they put instead of him? They are talking about who they would put instead of him. Yes, Humpty Trumpy has fallen, and he has no brain. Yogi Bear is saying, that's hilarious. And he's getting a lot of backlash for saying Milwaukee is a horrible place. You know how Tourette syndrome, I'm not saying that's what it is, but you know how there's certain mental issues and mental problems that some people have. It's very sad, but they just blurt things out. He didn't have a filter before. Why do I think the Pope met up with comedians in the Vatican? Is that a joke? That sounds like a dad joke. Are they thinking J.D. Vance? I'm getting a no on that. But I do get that there are discussions about if the loser literally falls and is dysfunctional, how far is he from being fully dysfunctional? A week? 2 weeks? 3 weeks? In about 3-4 weeks time, we're going to see the convicted felon loser be just completely dysfunctional. Marilyn saying the loser has fallen and he can't get up. I keep flashing on that a few years ago, I kept having visions of him in a wheelchair at some kind of an institution. How do you keep your bagels from getting stolen? You put locks on them. But boom, that was a Sharon Ann joke. Free cards about what's going on with the convicted felon loser. Can you imagine that they actually planning? I mean, they haven't talked about it much. There's supposed to be a debate on the 27th. Dad joke. This morning I saw a neighbor talking to her cat. It was obvious she thought her cat understood her. I came into my house, told my dog. We laughed a lot. The loser. 2 of Swords. Oh boy. We're going to see more of his downfall. Terry, Luna Storm likes the sound effects. They're fun. I'm asking about the convicted felon loser. The 2 of Swords is they don't know what to do. I won't show you the gruesomeness. See, I'm really squeamish. I can't watch movies like Silence of the Lambs. But speaking of Silence of the Lambs, what is this obsession with Hannibal Lecter? A total monster, psycho, fictional character. But why is he so obsessed? Let's ask this. Because, you know, he said that statement of, if I could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue, and I've always picked up murderous energy from him. Is that one of his fantasies, to be like Hannibal? No, it's not that bad. Well, that's good. Does he say Anthony Hopkins complimented him? I think that was probably in the 80s. Maybe he wants to eat his friends. People have been, be grateful, saying, I've been asking myself that. I haven't seen you in a while in the chat. So he doesn't necessarily want to eat his victims. He is a germaphobe. Don't worry, I won't go down this road too far. Yeah, and Glenn is saying he uses Hannibal Lecter as a joke on his people, but why? Why? Yeah, I can't do scary stuff. I couldn't. I think I saw a little excerpt of that movie because I was visiting my folks, and I was like, I don't like this movie. What is this movie? The acting was good, but I didn't see very much of it. Crimes against humanity. You thought they were going to get Putin for that. What happened? Well, a lot of death threats. Does the loser fantasize about murdering people? Yes. There you go. There you have it. There you have it. He fantasizes about murdering people. I'm sorry to be the bearer of this news, but that's a very strong yes. That's a very strong yes. He fantasizes about murdering people. Now, wait a minute. Does he, in his fantasies, is he murdering them himself? No. Oh, Trump has he dreams of killing his enemies. Did he say that? Because that's what I'm picking up. Does he think about having other people? He thinks about having other people execute his enemies. Big time. That's big time. That's big time. He has the hots for Anthony Hopkins. Apparently, he has the hots for Nancy Pelosi too. Don't ask. I mean, that was the other cray thing. Dad joke. I hired a woman from Eastern Europe to clean my house. It took her 8 hours just to vacuum. Turns out she was a Slovak. A Slovak. So, clearly, he fantasizes about killing people, but in his fantasies, he's not doing the killing. He's having other people doing the killing in his fantasies. And if you take that a step further, that's what happened on January 6th. We've got to get that song out there. Yeah, we got to get my song out there because people have to remember January 6th. It's really important. All right. Notice that I'm only using my nefarious cards at the moment. Yes, okay, so Sharon Ann is saying Orange Schittler has brought up firing squads and wanting to reinstate them. Yeah, he has fantasies about having people executed. Yes. And what are you saying? You're getting a yes that he has had something to do with Ivana's passing. I never did get that. I always got that Ivana fell down the stairs. I never felt any like foul play there. Now I want to ask you guys if you know who this woman is. Donna's going to sign up for the pageant class. That sounds like a dad joke. I'm not having a pageant class. I don't think. The other night somebody asked me if I could do a catwalk in my dress. And I was like, I don't know how to do that. Did you mean the pendulum class? Okay. All right, let's see. I'm gonna ask, let's do this. I'm gonna ask, maybe this is a pendulum question, but I feel like it's a cards question. I want to ask about his comment about Milwaukee. Loser and Barr pushed through federal executions. You're right, they did. That was a weird thing. That was a weird thing. When he found out that he lost the election and later they were getting ready he had to leave. I thought he would never leave. We probably all thought that. And then they wouldn't stay the executions. They were just like, yeah, death penalty, death penalty, death penalty. Remember that? Yeah, Sunshine is saying she always said Ivana was murdered. That's not my psychic impression. I just go with that. I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying that's never been my psychic impression about that. I don't pick it up at all. I pick up that it was an actual accident, a real accident. I feel like she was in a hazy state. Maybe she was sleepy or... Okay. I'm pulling 3 cards about Milwaukee. Okay. Terry, you're so quick. Will the loser get any backlash for his comment? I actually feel people organizing. I actually feel people in Milwaukee organizing. Why do you go around? Which is why I wrote that article about, this is a big FU to America, right? He hates America. There's nothing that he likes about America, except that he was able to scam America and continues to. Please like and subscribe. Thank you, Zircon. All right. He's probably making an excuse not to pay bills in Milwaukee because it's a terrible place. Well, he does that with the contractors, remember? Did he make that comment about Milwaukee because he doesn't want to pay Milwaukee? No, it's not that, because it's the RNC is there. Okay. So is Milwaukee going to revolt? Oh, I see a Milwaukee revolt. Interesting. Dad joke, how come Christians who set houses on fire don't worry about being forgiven? Because Jesus forgives all our sins. Our sins. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are here. It really helps me. Maybe he should move to Russia. Maybe the loser should move to Russia. I don't think he would survive. I don't think Putin likes him at all. Let's ask this. Let's say, is he going to debate? Is he going to debate Joe Biden? No. N-O, no. Shall we look? All right. Okay. Your wife slapped you for that one? Thomas. This is about, is he going to debate? Biden apologized for his decision during Thomas' investigation into the Supreme Court. Okay. That's why I got all off on that comment. Because I felt that was not very accurate. Anyway, I love that you're here. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes we just disagree on things, and that's life. Yes. You watch some people who are testifying about 45 using Russian nesting dolls to make their points. Yes, that was weird. And so I want to, because those people at that crazy hearing were so horrible. I don't even know what the hearing was for, but there was a lawyer there that was calling them out on all their lies. What's this? Does anyone come from a state where Ms. Spartz, Spartz, who is this woman? We'll get to that. We're going to pull 3 cards about this so-called debate. We don't know. We don't know. You guys you have an opinion that Ivana was murdered. You can keep your opinion. You don't have to listen to me. Okay, yeah, we got to talk about Ms. Spartz. Spartz. Dark, dark energy. Like, it's really dark. It's like, will House Speaker reject Biden win? Yes, they're going to reject. They already have told us that. That doesn't take a psychic, Yogi Bear. Right? They're already telling us that. The MAGA Mike the other day, when they're asked if they will accept a Biden win, they say no. They're telling us who they are. Okay, Indiana's 5th district. What's up, Indiana? Where did you find this Spartz woman? The debate. I'm getting that Kamala Harris, it looks like she will be doing something, but then he doesn't have a VP pick. Victoria Spartz is a congresswoman from Indiana's 5th congressional district. Is it heavily gerrymandered, or how did she get into that seat? She just, everything out of her mouth is a lie. And a terrible, horrible lie. Not that she's the only one, but she's got very bad energy. As far as the debate, I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing other things going on that night. So, and if you guys want to do your own readings about Ivana, go on. I closed down that topic when everyone kept asking me about the coffin. It's fine. I don't mind. Don't get me wrong. Really, it doesn't matter to me. I'm just not going to read on it. So this is looking like other things are going to be going on besides the debate that night. Indiana is very retrograde conservative. Surprised that Indiana didn't join the Confederacy in the Civil War. Maybe they will now. But Terry's from Indiana. We can't be bashing Indiana. There's beautiful people in Indiana. Okay, so I'm using the Cosmic Tarot now. The Democrats have been doing amazingly. They're standing their ground. The Democrats have been doing really amazing. Catherine's saying that woman, she's a bully. Yeah, she's a bully. Sparks' office helped make ethics complaints against her. Yeah. If you're in Indiana, you need to do something about that woman. She is dark as dark can be. She's a terrible person. Like I was saying earlier, I've never seen monsters like what I've seen in our government, and particularly the Supreme Court today. I have to almost stop thinking about the Supreme Court today. I'm so mortified. Send Rand Paul to Russia too, and Moscow Mike. And how about Moscow Mitch? Oh, they gave Trump a warm welcome. Oh, they love him. Well, they're in the cult. Let's see. I'm going to pull 3 cards on our Democrats. Nancy Mace, yeah. Can you say gerrymandering? She is cuckoo. That woman is cuckoo. Miss Spartz is just like really, really dark energy. Nancy Mace, cuckoo. We already have enough mass shootings in the U.S., and so the Supreme Court, just coming back to the Supreme Court. And Moscow Marjorie. Just getting back to the Supreme Court. I mean, this is why I'm exceptionally upset tonight. We have the last gun massacre. I can't even believe that we have to talk about it like this, but the last gun massacre that happened was on Valentine's Day. Right around that day. I think it was Valentine's Day, which was the anniversary of a lot of different gun massacres in our country. And now that crime is down, under Biden, crime has come down. I believe that it's because people are coming together. Under Joe Biden, crime has gone way down. So when the loser called Milwaukee a horrible place, then they tried to say, oh, he said that because of the crime. The crime's way down in Milwaukee. And what we have had by the grace of God and the angels, is we haven't had a massacre since February. And now the Supreme Court's like, let's have a gun massacre. Can't even. I can't even. Parkland was on Valentine's Day. I know, but the shooting at the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl parade, I think was the same day, right? Yeah, Parkland was. Yeah, I think it was the same day. I'm pulling cards for the Democrats. Well, I've been wondering if, in the face of what they've been putting Merrick Garland through. Hang on, I dropped a card. In the face of what they're putting, in my glasses, putting Merrick Garland through, I've been wondering if now it's Merrick, if it's getting close to the time that Merrick Garland turns it around. So when I'm asking about the Democrats in Congress, the first thing that comes up is a justice card. And they're holding strong to justice. They're keeping law and order as a thing. Guadalupe is asking, is the immunity decision going to be answered? I will take a look at that. Yeah, I will take a look at that. My sense is yes. Because right now the Supreme Court fascists, the ones that are fascists, I'm just going to say it. Rudy McBooty was arrested today. I think immunity might be a thing that they say go ahead with. But we'll take a look at it. The Democrats, it looks like justice is coming. They're holding on. They're holding on to the Constitution and the law. I feel them being strong. I feel the Democrats not letting up. And let's ask this, because since I feel the Democrats becoming more empowered, are they going to take the majority this year? Are the Democrats going to take the majority this year? Yeah, the Supreme Court is going to break our hearts. Anyway, I'm asking, we'll get to that in a sec. I'm getting that the Democrats will take the majority. I'm getting before the end of the year. Is it going to be before November? It doesn't look like it will be before November. That could change. GOP Party of Texas is calling for a referendum on whether the state should reassert its status as an independent nation as a legislative priority in the next session of the Texas legislature. Good luck to Texas with all the natural disasters. That's all I have to say about that. And while I'm on that topic, good luck to Florida, telling people, Ron DeSatan over there is saying, you can't say the words climate change in Florida. I don't know if they arrest you, but those are the two states that are getting effing hammered by global climate change more than other states, and other states are getting hit too. So I do get that the Democrats are going to take back the House. And I don't get that it's before November. I really thought it would be sooner and things could change. Florida's drowning. Yes. Okay. I'm going to read on, going back to the nefarious cards. What is interesting to me is just, theoretically, just like looking at the different puzzle pieces. I'm not doing a psychic reading. I'm just looking at the different puzzle pieces. Say the Supreme Court said Trump has full immunity. He can do anything he wants. He can order the execution of his enemies and, like political enemies and all that. Say they did that. And say Trump is just a cognitive declining, not able to function mess. Then what? Shockwave, if you can formulate that into a shorter question or something, that would, if you have a question about what's going on in Texas, it's a whole paragraph. It's hard for me to read. Remember that fly on Pence's. Sorry, I just snorted. Remember that fly on Pence? It makes me laugh every time. All right. I'm pulling 3 cards about this decision, presidential immunity. Terry, she's still there. 3 cards on presidential immunity. I just want to take a moment to let you know that you guys, your support, your love and your support and your understanding my crying the other night about like my income just dropping like to very uncomfortable levels. I want to let you know that because of you, I'm able to come on. I'm going to have to, do it that way from now on. Provided I'm getting a couple of readings after every show, I will keep coming back, maybe sometimes more than 3 nights.
Bonus points. Bonus points.
Bonus points. I was like, what was that? All right, hang on. I did drop my glasses. I'm noticing that I think I got a tan today. I was out in the sun, but it was it rained today. Cheryl, did it rain where you are? Cheryl's putting flies up. That reminds me of Silence of the Lambs. Dad joke, Marvin Gaye used to keep a sheep in my vineyard. He'd heard it through the grapevine. Thank you, Warren. And I understand that some people can't donate or book readings, and that's okay. That's okay. Those who can. I'm really good at what I do, and so I want you to book readings. It's pouring rain in New York City. It was pouring really hard this afternoon. Abbott is setting up Texas to secede from the Union. Will he secede from the Union is spelled S-U-C-E-D-E. I'm being the spelling teacher, and succeed is spelled differently. I know what you mean, Joanne. I'm just trying to be helpful. What's plank 20? I have to look that up, Shockwave, because I don't know what that is, and I'm kind of afraid to find out. We're reading on the Supreme Court. Well, what we're dealing with right now in America is we've lost the Republican Party, and we've lost the Supreme Court, and we're on our own. All right? You heard it here. We have lost the Supreme Court, we have lost the Republican Party, and we're on our own. You want them to secede. Can you put up the right spelling for secede? That you're able to do that? Because it's not succeed. Because they wouldn't succeed if they seceded from the Union. I understand it's complicated. Thank you, Laura. Laura became a YouTube member. When you become a member, you get an affirmation in your inbox every single morning. It's an awesome way to start the day. Super Dougie is saying, you thought I was not live anymore. I was coming back under the condition if a couple people booked readings, and they did. And Joanne just donated $20. Thank you. Really appreciate your support. And I know it's we're in TV brain. We're like, we don't think we have to pay TV, but we sure have to sit through a lot of commercials. The American people are far greater. All right, as far as the Supreme Court, yes, they're going to grant him full immunity. A couple of them are going to go for the full immunity. And then America starts shining brighter. Because what's happening is it's clear as clear can be. And we're going to go back to the Constitution and say, I'm not so fast. Not so sure. The rest of us would save billions in FEMA if Texas left the union. I don't know what are they really? Thank you, Michael, for giving me $20 earlier. Forgive me for not seeing it. I've got too many things on my brain all at the same time. The rest of us would save billions. Yeah, so, I mean, they're just so stupid. They would get no aid. I mean, didn't he go to Biden when Texas just had a bunch of horrible tornadoes? Wasn't he asking the federal government for help? So we need to read on this. They're horrible scumbags of a Supreme Court, that's for sure. We need to read on this. Anyway, as far as the Supreme Court granting immunity, see, we're in a new, we have to make kind of this paradigm shift because we're in a new reality. The new reality is all we have is the Democrats. And it's like last night during my live stream about how to talk to a Trumpster, how to understand what's going on there, especially. What I said last night was, because the news media is now distorted, we've been left to our own devices, and I mean it literally, like I'm on my iPad. We're left to our own devices. It's up to us to figure this out as a collective America. You heard it here. This is what's going on. They're after Garland because the DOJ is investigating them. That's a good point, Christina. Let's read on that. They're after Biden. I mean, that's a good point. Also to make the point, it's related. They're after Merrick Garland because Merrick Garland is going to subpoena them. I did read on that today on my own. They will be subpoenaed. Jim Jordan is 700 and some odd days into ignoring a subpoena. They called on Merrick Garland to try to get him impeached. I don't know what they were trying to do, but they were trying to get literally, this is what I saw. They were trying to get Merrick Garland to hand over the audio transcripts, even though they have all the written transcripts of the special investigators, the special counsel's distorted report on Joe Biden and him having some documents, and they had to talk to him about that. But I think that was voluntary, that Biden didn't have to do that. I literally heard James Comer say, well, we need them because we want to give them to the Associated Press. And he's naming all these media outlets, and they're all media outlets that are distorting the truth. And as Trump is losing it, they're trying to say that Biden is losing it. So they're trying to make a case with their Russian fake news propaganda with the audio recording of Biden. And Biden has a stutter and has his whole entire life. They said it, Christine. They just want those recordings so they can get up to nefarious deeds with AI. They're already doing it as it is. The Wall Street Journal, man, they're running all these stories. I'm going to say it like this. They're running all these stories that cite the decline of a person's mental cognitive abilities that are age-based. And that's what's happening to Donald Trump. Dad joke, before you criticize someone, walk a mile in their shoes. That way, when you do criticize them, you're a mile away and you have their shoes.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
You did nail it. You did nail it. That's hilarious. At least you get their shoes. I hope they're nice shoes, right? So, they're already the most like unsuspecting publications and media outlets like the New York Times. When the New York Times started bashing Biden, and people that write for the New York Times that I was used to not being slanted to an extremist direction, when they started writing articles that were disparaging about Biden, I unsubscribed. I told you a few months ago to get used to these words, Russian propaganda. So we have to figure out a way. We really do. America has to figure out a way now to flag fake news. John loved that joke. He said it was beyond outstanding. The Wall Street Journal is trying to paint Biden that way, but Trump is not allowing it? What do you mean Trump is not allowing it? Trump is not allowing the Wall Street Journal to paint Biden as though he's the one that's got a cognitive function issue? Because the Wall Street Journal would not bash, I don't think they'd bash Trump. Not at the rate that they're going. Murdoch papers talking about Biden's age. They got their nerve. How old is Rupert? I know Rupert's like 91. He was going to marry a 60-something-year-old and bailed. Yeah, the Wall Street Journal is owned by the most dangerous immigrant to this country, and the New York Post, right? Every accusation is a confession and a projection. Laura's mentioning it's a projection, a confession. Let's ask this. I do want to read on that Ms. Spartz too. So, but first, I'm going to pull cards about this media stuff and about whether we will get on top of things as a nation and flag fake news. They used to do that on social media. Dad joke. My wife and I laugh about how competitive we are, but I laugh more. Trump is acting like what they think Biden is acting like. Oh, they don't think Biden is acting like that. They know Biden's not acting like that. They're making it up. Three cards about whether we'll get a handle on all this fake news. Remember they used to have Pinocchios? Remember that? You guys remember that? Now they just lie and lie and lie. And I was asking my guides about it. Why do they lie so much? And it's totally, they've been promised that they will be oligarchs if they behave that way. Lisa's saying, if Texas secedes, the USA will move our, that's how you spell it, SECEDES. The USA will move our border patrol from the southern border of Texas to the northern border of Texas. The nation of Texas can come up with their own border patrol. It's not going to happen. Where's the next Walter Cronkite? On that point, there was an author, I didn't write down her name, on Ari Melber, sort of towards the end of his show tonight. And she was talking about, she doesn't know how things became this way because she's kind of an historian, and you may have seen it. And the whole time she's saying, I don't know how people got to be the way that they are. We used to be able to make change. And the whole time I'm thinking, why is this woman not seeing that it's because people are confused? Because she was saying people seem confused. It's the fake news. The fake news makes everything really confusing to the average person. Pinocchio has gone into the woodwork. We no longer hear about him. We got to bring him back. Computer nerd dad joke. Have you heard about the band 1023 MB? It's probably because they haven't got a gig yet. But bum. Breaking news, Trump will be placed in the chain gang in Texas helping rebuild the wall. Donna's here. Good to see you, Donna. Okay, well, I'm asking about us getting a handle on the fake news, and I have the death card. I think it's going to end. I think this complete proliferation, I don't know how it's going to end, but I see the American people being like, what? I don't know how it's going to end. Except that I kind of feel like it gets so preposterous. I kind of feel like enough people are going to be going, is that right? Is that right? And I did say that we're going to hear a lot about Russian propaganda. And I keep thinking about when we finally got aid to Ukraine after MAGA Moscow Mike Johnson kept holding it up. I didn't write down this guy's name, but there was a Russian spokesperson. You might remember this. It wasn't that long ago. Who got so angry that the U.S. finally approved that aid to Ukraine that he said, we'll really enjoy it when America goes into a civil war. They'll be so divided. And that stuck with me because I knew what he meant was they were going to just blast the media with fake news about Joe Biden. And now it's becoming very clear. I've read many articles from legitimate sources that are saying they have just gone all in on the social media, brainwashing people, getting them into the cult mind control. Russia. It's been all Russia. Other nefarious sources too, but mostly Russia. When more and more migrate to Midas Touch Network, they will get a clue. Yeah, and also they have been I kind of feel like they're coming for YouTube next, but we can read on that. I don't think they'll succeed. But the death card means an end to the complete and total blanketing all the media with fake news. I think Russia and the nefarious agencies will go overboard. What's the difference between a well-dressed cyclist and a scruffy guy on a tricycle? A tire. You're full of it, Thomas. You're full of him, I mean. Just like there's this thing that's happening where they go overboard, right? So as far as the fake news and Russian propaganda just blanketing our airwaves and our media with lies, they're going overboard. So it gets to be it gets into the ludicrous zone where people start going, what? And the same with Trump, with all these people just bowing down to him like he's the second coming. Literally, that's what they're doing. And then when you see him up there talking about, nobody knows what he's talking about, which is what the businessmen were saying. Nobody really knows what he's talking about. When they've made him out to be this great leader, and then you see what it actually is, they've gone overboard with the praise and the adulation, right? Trump just announced Republicans are going after Sherrod Brown because he's interfering with Supreme Court. He announced that they are? I haven't heard that story. I'll look it up. So as far as the fake media, I mean, the Four of Swords is like, it just gets exhausting. And then it kind of ends. And the Two of Wands is then we find our balance. It gets to be too much. I'm not really sure how that's going to manifest. Okay. I think that it's time to read tea leaves. But I was going to read on this Mrs. Spartz. Ms. Spartz in Indiana. We're going to find out more about her. Now I want to read on Abbott. Well, let's do that first. Yeah, the loser's just going off the rails, making no sense at all. And they've been pumping him up and pumping him up and pumping him up. And it just gets to be so obvious that they're lying. That's why I got the death card. It gets to be like, yeah, now you're totally, even people that are barely paying attention, it's going to be like, yeah, now you're totally insulting my intelligence completely. Go away. Go sit down. Murdoch is 93 years old. I'm going to ask what's wrong with Ms. Sparks. That's what I'm going to do. What's going on with this crazy woman? She is going to be found out. Yes, you can already. Yeah, the ramping up of Russian propaganda is happening really fast. I don't think that they're gonna. I don't think they're doing it right if they want to be effective, because it's like all of a sudden the New York Times, and I was even saying it at the time. I was like, I think they have some Russian working on their staff, plus all these crazy hearings, right? These crazy hearings, and then they find out, oh, all the evidence that they got was a Russian spy. The FBI has him in custody, right? And the Chinese spy, right? It's just like it's badly done. It's sloppily done. This whole thing is so sloppy. So in a way we're at an advantage because it's just so obvious. But Ms. Sparks in Indiana, the Eight of Swords is prison, is being in prison. The Six of Swords has to do with January 6th. And the Lover card, I haven't seen Damon tonight. The love, because he likes this card. What does a vegan zombie like to eat? Grains. Meanwhile, she's working with the enemy. Ms. Sparks is working for the enemy, and it's very glaringly, obviously clear. No wonder her energy is so dark. It's just that's like 100% certainty on that one. Let's see. I took some notes, and I think I touched on everything. We're in the middle of an attempted takeover of our government. Texas Paul did a section on the younger, intelligent women marrying much older men and the connections back to Putin. The younger, intelligent women where? Yeah, Lisa's still talking about Texas, and I don't get. I'll ask. Will Texas secede from the Union? Will Texas secede from the Union? No, I feel Democrats getting involved. I mean, like Jasmine Crockett, there's some great Democrats in Texas. Cheryl's like, I'd rather be electrocuted. Yeah, Trump is crazy. Crazy. Let's take a look at some tea leaves. Never ever fall in love with a tennis player because to them love means nothing. Good ones tonight, Thomas. Let's read some tea leaves, shall we? Okay, so the new thing that's going to keep me in business and not having to wait tables is this. At the end, Terry's going to run a slideshow so you can see what I have to offer. And I'm thinking about offering the members something extra. I'll be talking to her about that next week. And thank you so much for being here tonight. Please subscribe. Even if you've already subscribed, please resubscribe. YouTube has given me a lot of headaches. You loved waiting tables? I did too. I love people. I love people even when they're annoying. To a point. I do feel the American people are going to, the Milwaukee thing, I actually feel the Republicans in Milwaukee going, that did it, I'm out. Right? Those that were on the fence. Before I even looked down, I was seeing a bear. Out of the corner of my eye, I was seeing a bear. And this is, I hate when that happens. Okay, that's okay. This is about Russia. This is about Russia. This is about, can't really see it because I just messed it up, but it looked like a bear over Mars. Russia is going to do, I didn't read on this the other night. I mentioned the Russian warships are off the coast of Key Largo. Russia is going to do it looks like a fake something to freak everyone out. YouTube has been experimenting with putting ads in the middle of people's streams to offset the ad blockers people use. Wonder if that's affecting me. I don't have ads in the middle of my stream. I only have it set for the beginning and the end. I don't have them set in the middle. I will check. You see an eagle. Okay, what I see here is I see a last ditch effort by Putin to scare the hell out of everybody. Not sure what it is. Do I do more readings during tourist season? No, not necessarily. I am planning something for next Friday night. I'm still formulating it. I have to create in my mind. Because next Friday night, I'll still do PNN, provided I get readings, is the summer solstice, and it's a full moon. It's the longest day of the year. It's unconstitutional for states to secede. Oh, Joanne, you must be thinking that people are still adhering to the United States Constitution. We're supposed to be. Russia already freaked me out. October 1962, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Well, they're getting ready to scare us again. YouTube is giving dem chat sites and card reader sites a bad time. Yes, they are. Yes, please subscribe. Donna's saying, Donna's in Scotland. Donna had to subscribe more than once. Thank you. I appreciate it. Love you too. There's a snake here. We're going to find out more and more about the loser's connections to foreign enemies. I don't know how, but we're going to find out more about that. And then this looks like a hand. Trust the divine hand to step in. And then what does that look like to you guys? I'll let you tell me what it looks like. It looks like a broom. It looks like a woman sitting on a broom. So this is about women sweeping up the gunk. Texas alert. Texas bishop speaks out about fight with Greg Abbott. Yeah. On Monday, provided I get a couple of readings and people signed up for my classes or you see an arrow through the heart. I see the women actually sweeping up the BS. Oh, by the way, that's a woman. Yeah, a witch sitting on a broom. That's what I see too. Just kind of waiting, right? Dad joke. What do you call Batman when he skips church? A Christian pale. I think of Batman as Adam West. Yeah, broom. Yeah, that's what I get too. Okay, so we're in cahoots here. It's a woman getting ready to be awakened on that broom. A week or so ago, it was right on Memorial Day. I posted a picture of a woman, a tree branch, a tree limb sticking out. I think they cut it down now, but it looked just like a woman emerging from the tree. It was very cool. It's on my community page, the last week of May, and it reminded me like the women are getting ready to come out of the woodwork. And this is Jupiter. Jupiter's going to lay down a lot of this is like, it looks like sticks. This is Jupiter. So Jupiter's getting ready to build a more positive future for us. The U.S. Witch Force. I love it. Also, there was somebody mentioned the other night, and I saw I'm Spartacus. I saw the Thomas, you're hilarious. The white buffalo was born. A white bison was born. Was it Wyoming? And the Lakotas say that that's a sign of good things to come. And it's also a sign to take care of the environment. Every time I'm DLC, every time I'm able to give YouTube a piece of my mind, not much left now. I complain about the hate. Oh, I'm sure it's not that true. I'm sure you have plenty of your mind. I complain about the hate and lies they let so-called ads spread. Yeah, it's bad. Hi, Nunya. Yellowstone Park. That's where it was. Okay, so yeah, the white bison was born, and that's a positive sign. We do have to take care of the planet. If nothing else motivates you, and I don't see how that could be true. If we don't have Joe Biden reelected, it's game over for the planet. Let's be real. I apologize that I was so grumpy earlier, but that Supreme Court thing really threw me for a loop. Not that I was surprised. What do we say? Shocked, but not surprised. Therefore, fascism. We don't have a Supreme Court, and we don't have a Republican Party. We're kind of flying solo as Democrats, but we can do this. Our revolutionary soldiers did it. Not that it's going to be that bad, but we can do this. All right. Go Boston, beat Dallas. Joe Biden will be reelected. Well, Warren, there's no doubt in my mind that Joe Biden will be reelected. I am not concerned about that at all. My concern is that he was reelected in 2020, right? It never ended. I'll just leave you with this. I don't see, I'll just say his name. I do not see Donald Trump making it to November 5th. All right. Go Celtics. I'll leave you with that. Terry's going to run the slideshow now. Please sign up for Grassroots of Democracy, grassrootsofdemocracy.com. We need you. Psychic Annette Dion .com is where you need the .com, or click the link. Is where you go to book a reading. Provided I have some business from this video, I'll be coming back on Monday, same time. Church of Spirituality has its own channel, Church of Spirituality, at Church of Spirituality. It's going to really help your life to go better. When you become a member, you get an affirmation in your inbox every day. And you are keeping this going, so I really appreciate it. Please subscribe and share, resubscribe, and namaste. You uplifted me. Thank you. We're in this together. See you soon.
I have sailed upon these waters, put my stakes into this land. There haven't been many others who can explore the way I can. I am a man of unconventionality, living on the edge of this reality, and I am here to lead the way. It is clear you'd be afraid. New world out there waits. New world out there waits. I have preached upon this mountain. People knew me well. I told them heaven can be found if we only look inside ourselves. I am a man of unconventionality, living on the edge of this reality, and I'm here to lead the way. It is clear you'd be afraid. New world out there waits. Find our courage on a new road we will pave, we can stand.